All right, so next up, we're going to learn a command called ls. It stands for list, and it allows us to list the contents, what's inside of a given directory. So right now, we're kind of blindly fumbling around. We're using pwd to see where we currently are, and we can cd backwards or to a particular place that we know exactly the absolute path, but we don't have a way of viewing the files that are available for us to cd into. So ls, again, it just stands for list. And on its own, it's just going to list the contents of the current directory. So let me show you right now. Here I have a new terminal window. As you can see, I'll just do pwd as well. I'm inside of my home directory. Now I can type ls here, and it lists all the folders that are inside of my home directory. So what you see will probably be a little different. Some of them might be the same depending on the platform you're on, your OS, and so on. Now let's try going back one level. cd ... Quick quiz, where will that take me? If you guessed users, good job. So we're in /users. If I type ls now, you can see there's a couple of users here. And let's go back one more time. Now I'm in my root directory. I type ls, and I can see a bunch of different things that are here. So hopefully you can see that navigating now is a lot easier, because if I want to go into users or into applications, I know that they exist. I don't have to just blindly guess. So I can do things like, let's go back to users, cold steel, type ls, and let's go to the desktop, cd desktop. Notice, by the way, that I'm not having to type the whole absolute path. I can just say cd desktop rather than cd/users/cold steel/desktop, because I'm already in users/cold steel. Okay. So from the desktop, ls, you can see I have a couple of directories I've created: cat photos, confidential, my stuff, nuclear codes, and top secret. One thing I want to mention is you can use ls from inside a different directory as long as you provide the correct path. So let's say I wanted to see what's inside of the cat photos directory without changing into it. I could just type ls cat photos. Remember, I'm on the desktop, but as long as I type ls and then the path, it will tell me what's inside of cat photos. And of course, I could also cd into cat photos and then just type regular old ls. But if you're just trying to figure out where a file is, you may not want to change all the way into the directory. You can just use ls from anywhere. And since we're here, let's take a look at one of these. Let's do this video, bluepanting.mov. So this is a command that I'm not really teaching in this lecture, but I'm just going to add it in here. So if we use open and then a file name, it will open the file for us. And here's my cat Blue panting really hard after playing with her toy. So don't focus on open as much, but if you want to, you can try opening some existing files. It will just pick whatever the default way of opening those files are. So just like if you double clicked on a file, if it's a text file, it'll probably open in whatever your default text editor is. On a Mac, I think it's just called TextEdit. A movie file, I think, just opened in preview. Same with a JPEG, depending on your operating system. But open is not the focus here. It's really about ls. So once again, ls on its own just lists the files that are inside of the current directory. Now I'm going to go back to my home directory. Another quick quiz. Name 2 ways to do that. All right. So one way would be to do cd and just type the tilde, just like that. Another option would be to do cd ... 2 times. So cd ... enter, and then cd ... again. First time takes me to the desktop. The next time takes me to my home directory. Or I could have done cd/users and given the entire absolute path /cold steel. It's a little long, but that would also work. Takes me to where I already am. I prefer this one, but there are 3 options. Hopefully you pick 2 of them. Okay, so from here, I can type ls. I see the directories available, but I want to go back to the slides. And I added this note that you can supply options, are called flags. They all start with a dash. So -a or -l, those are just 2 examples. There's a bunch more, but they tell ls to work in a particular way. So for example, -a will list all files, including hidden files. So you may not be familiar with hidden files if you haven't used a terminal before. If we look here, it looks like these are the only files available to me, the only directories. But if I do ls-a, you'll see a whole bunch of other things. They all start with a dot. So we have hidden files, hidden folders, something from Adobe, something from IPython. We'll talk about that later. Some Node stuff. Basically, a lot of tools that I've installed create their own hidden files that you're not really supposed to do anything with, and that's why they're hidden. Sometimes, it's very rare, but sometimes you may need to delete or look at a hidden file, usually if you're trying to do something sort of hacky. So ls-a will do that for you. And then there was also -l, which gives you a longer format. So I'm going to go back to regular ls without the a and just do ls-l, and it gives me more information about the files. So I believe over here, this is some permission information about reading and writing permissions. I think this is who created, the administrator, the name of the file or folder, the date that it was updated or last, I don't know, created or last updated, and then something about the file size, I believe. Not positive, don't quote me on any of that, please. But I just wanted to show you there's more information available. Most of the time you don't really need to use this. We could combine them too, al, and now we get the hidden files as well, and we get a lot of information about them. So that's really all I want to show here. ls on its own isn't that useful, but neither is cd. But when you put them together, you can really start to navigate forwards and backwards and find all your files and do everything you need to do that you could do with Finder or with Windows Explorer, but do it from the command line.